Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I am Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, movies, and
whatever else we feel like in that moment. We talk about stuff that you might not see coming once in a while. If you've been here a while, you see No Way Out. Also, happy Batman Day, everyone. Na 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 na.
Yeah. So, today's podcast is going to be about the new movie on Netflix called Sierra. I think Burgess.
Burgess.
Yeah, thank you for finishing that for me.
Teamwork.
So hit us up on Twitter at Echo U Podcast. And you guys share our videos, get the word out. I saw some retweets, and I have been reading the comments on like certain people. But
I don't know what's wrong. You need a Halls? Like you need a Ricola? What's going on here?
Halls is better than Ricola. But so let's get into this episode. Oh, before I forget, we are a little late with the second episode because we had shit to do. That's really what it is. Life happened. So you're gonna get 3 episodes this week, but at least be more movies than music. Trying to balance it out. It won't be balanced by the end of the year, but it'll be close. So I'm gonna give this movie an A. I really enjoyed it. Also, shout out to Netflix for To All the Boys I Loved Before. That's also a good movie. What you think about now? We probably should have did it on the podcast, but it's cool. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
You might have been saying similar things like about both of these movies. They're not similar, stories, but like high school wise, yeah. People making dumb decisions because they're high schoolers.
Yeah, basically. Before we get into it, a little synopsis. Basically, Sierra, she's I think a senior or a junior. And she is trying to get in college, right? And basically she realized there's nothing special about her, according to her guidance counselor. And she's just trying to find out who she is. There's also this other girl. Damn, I forgot her name. I don't know her name.
Son of a bitch, I forgot her name.
But she's really popular. Oh, it's Veronica. There's this girl named Veronica. She's really popular. To play a trick on Sierra, she gives her phone number out to this random guy. This guy starts texting Veronica in air quotes and gets Sierra, and basically catfishing starts to happen. And then stupidity occurs, and here we are. So I'm going to give this an A because I didn't think it was cheesy. There's a lot of cringe moments, but considering what the story is, I expected that, especially since it's about catfishing and like stupidity happens. It was very cool to see how it unfolded. Yes, it was sort of predictable when it comes to Veronica and Sierra, but it was still enjoyable to watch their relationship unfold. I thought Dan was really great, as Michael kept reminding me throughout the entire movie. Yes, he's the Blue Power Ranger from the movie. Yes.
That's him. That's the Blue Power Ranger.
And I was never bored. The cheesiness didn't bother me. Even the predictability of the movie didn't bother me. There was some high school decision. I was like, really? Okay. But other than that, it was just a really good team rom-com. And I'm okay with that. So, and I'm going to put the spoiler alert here because every time Michael gives his opinion, he always gives away spoilers. Yeah. So, spoiler alert. From this point on,
you can literally start the entire podcast by saying spoilers. Hey, go ahead, Joe.
But anyway, spoiler alert. If you don't want to be spoiled by the movie,
About the podcast.
Sorry. Lord have mercy. It's been a long day. Oh, not really. Not really. But yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled by the podcast, watch the movie, then come back. If you don't care, stay with us and see if you agree with us about this movie. So, your opinion now?
So, here's what happens in the movie. I'm going to spoil the whole thing right now. I'm playing. Like Shanique said, this movie set out to do what it intended to do. It ended up being like a high school rom-com. It ended up having like somewhat similar themes, albeit with some fundamental differences from To All the Boys I Loved. I thought everyone did a good job. And yeah, the movie is predictable, but it has its own way of making itself feel a little bit new. It definitely keeps the catfish theme going for a while, and the whole I'm gonna be best friends with the popular girl in school, and some climactic story element is gonna get in our way, and then we're gonna come to odds. So there's like two different storylines going on pretty much. There's the catfishing, and then there's Veronica trying to impress some college guy. So that being said, I feel like all the characters have to do what they intend to do. Sierra Burgess.
They got married,
right?
Apparently.
Sierra Burgess. It also definitely focused on like a self-esteem kind of theme going on with it as well. And I was like, you know what, the most ideal place for a story like that is in high school. Because watching this movie just reminded me like my high school years were nothing near this bullshit. But yeah, I mean, like Shanique, I'm gonna go ahead and get us an A2. It set out to do what it planned to do, then try to like reinvent the wheel. Did a good job.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see how we're gonna break this down.
Break it down now.
Okay, so what did you think of the relationship between Sierra and her parents? Because I thought it was kind of weird. Like, so Sierra has this basically inferior complex when it comes to her mother. Because her mother's skinny, beautiful, and Sierra's, to me, still beautiful. And I don't even think she's that big. But she sees herself as this overweight, unattractive girl. And so she doesn't even try to dress up because she's like, no one will notice me. And so she looks at her mom, and her mom's like a self-help guru who like write books or some shit. Mm-hmm. And her mom was doing this annoying shit that I didn't like always throwing out these little
S is for
acronyms. Yeah. And I get what she was trying to do, build her daughter's self-esteem.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T,
yeah, she had a whole acronym for respect, and even though Aretha took care of that, but she kept doing that through the entire movie, and Sierra was responding to that. Her father is like this big author, so she had a lot of pressure in her writing classes, her English classes, to like be an amazing writer, and she was. But I felt like with Sierra, her relationship with her parents kind of molded her as a character, because she wanted to be a writer. I think probably because her dad was kind of a writer, but she wanted to basically write songs, not books. And her mom kind of, not intentionally, because her mom is actually a nice person, unlike Veronica's mom, which we'll get to that woman eventually. But her mom was like, hurting her self-esteem. And Sierra had a moment at the end of the movie, which I thought was really great acting from her, which it's easy for you to put out these quotes when you look like that. It's hard for a girl who looks like me in high school, which in real life, it would be hard for her. Even though, to me, she looks perfectly fine. So, what do you think about, how the relationship between Sierra and her parents? What do you think about that?
I mean, they didn't really flesh it out too much with their parents. They did have, some interactions here and there, but I think it's maybe, 3 scenes.
Yeah, but I mean,
one of which was, more pronounced than the other. I think the very last one where, she comes home crying or whatever. But yeah, other than that, I think Sierra's right. I mean, Sierra's a smart girl, and she kind of points this out, hey, yeah, you keep spouting all this stuff, but you're spouting it when you're in the you have the advantage. Even if you weren't spouting this stuff, you'd still be beautiful. On the other hand, there's me who has a difficult time with the execution because I don't look like my mom that much. But like Shanique, I'm like, this girl's cute. The fuck?
Yeah, she's a very pretty girl.
High school is a fucking battleground. If it's just
but it's really her weight that's probably causing issues, because that's what people teased her about in the movie, her weight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's even more of a reason why high school is a fucking nightmare for students, and no wonder why it's so easy to make high school rom-coms about this kind of stuff, because emotional stuff like this is just we had a proportion from what I'm used to in real life. But I know there's some high schools where it means more to some people than others. But this is kind of it's putting it out there. And at the end of the movie, it's one of them things where, actually no, before I even talk about the end of the movie, it's actually one of them things that even spouts over into the whole storyline with guy from All the Boys Who Love Me, Peter.
Yes, but in this movie, his name is Jamie.
Jamie.
Jesus.
So yeah,
really?
It spouts over into that too, because she's like, well, if he thinks I'm Veronica, I might have a shot here. But I'm like, if I'm going on a blind date and someone had like that kind of attitude, like the attitude that you kind of, well, let's say a personality that you kind of want, then it's like, would it really have mattered? I mean, yeah, you lying, but
okay. Well,
I mean, I think me and you had a conversation too about like, you know, we don't even know if he's like that shallow. If like, you know, she revealed it at first.
I think her whole thing was like, the boy that looks like that could never like a girl who looks like me.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing. I don't think he's this guy, but maybe, I think her idea was like, maybe if he got to know me, then when he saw me, yeah, I might have not looked like the way he want, but I have everything else.
I mean, my biggest problem would have been you lied in the first place.
No, yeah, but I mean, I don't think, since they didn't really like, she didn't really go as far as I thought she would have. Because then there's a point where there's of no return. Like, there's certain things you can't lie about.
Yeah.
But she didn't go that far, and I can see why she thinks she'll still have a chance. She almost did tell the truth, though. What do you think of... So, I want to also talk about Sierra and Dan. Dan's a supporting character, but he's fucking hilarious. He's the comic relief of this movie, and he's like my favorite character. It's like him. I'll put Sierra, Jamie, and then Veronica. Veronica's last, not because she's a bad character. I just think the other ones are a little better. And then, honestly, Veronica's mom is like the most hated character. I hate her so much in this movie. She's a piece of shit, but I get why she's a piece of shit though. And she plays, what is it? Chrissy on This Is Us. So any This Is Us fans, that's who she is. So basically, Dan is like Sierra's only friend. He's there for her throughout all this. And they're competing low-key about like college and stuff. She's like, oh, you're going to do this? I'm going to do this. My favorite scene with them is when they run the track. Oh, God, I thought that shit was hilarious. And I liked all of his commentary. And he was saying what I was thinking, too. So I did like it.
He's actually, even though he's a comic relief, he's also the voice of reason for Sierra. Oddly enough, because Sierra is like a smart girl. She's like a voice of reason for herself. Except when it comes to dudes, apparently. Yeah. So, you know, good looking out for by Dan, even though Sierra did her own thing anyway. But
and I'm glad they didn't go the cliche route where the best friend was secretly in love with her. Right. They didn't do that. Now I want to get into basically Veronica and her home life. Was not at all what I expected it to be. But I figured they would do that. Like, I figured she'd go home and you realize, man, her mom has issues. Like, she was telling the kids and Veronica that the dad was dead. When he left her for a 22-year-old, which is only like a couple years older than the daughter, he basically died in the mom's mind. Yeah. And was telling the young kids who are bad as shit, and Veronica, like, oh, they're dead. He's dead, yada, yada. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, and then the kids were like, calling her Moronica.
Moronica. Yeah, it's like two annoying ass little sisters. Oh my goodness.
I know. Who has too much butt cheek hanging out. I don't know who would let their daughters wear that. Yeah. That tutu was not okay. What do you think of Veronica's home life?
Tutu was too much.
You think Veronica's home life and the mom? I'm ignoring that jackass joke.
I'm like, damn, should he do me like
crickets, that? Crickets. Okay.
Hey, well, yeah, Veronica, I don't know. Clearly, she grew up sheltered and shit because of this whole dad thing. Because I believe that people who are like have such a tight leash are the ones acting out in school, and clearly that's what's going on here. Like, don't get me wrong, she's also a very pretty girl, but it's like the attitude comes from home. The attitude comes from like just being under like a controlling roof by her mom, you know, having this whole thing where there's no junk food allowed or else you're gonna look like X, Y, and Z and yada yada yada, which was beyond ironic considering that, you know, the mom's like a big size lady, and I was just like,
that's why she's doing that, because she thinks the father left her because she's big, so she wants to put that on her daughters.
Yeah, I mean, I got that theme, but that whole lesson that she's trying to put into them got out of control. Like, you're trying to like control their food, their hell. Even when Sierra came over and the mom looked at her, she was like, "Oh, so that's what we do now."
Yeah, she wants to control her friends. She's very controlling, and she had a different issue than Sierra's mom, because it was like, I I am so insecure about how I look because my man left me for someone who looks completely different than me. I'm just gonna put that on my children.
Yeah, it's weird. It's funny too because there's a little contrast there. Like Sierra's mom has all the confidence in the world, and the insecure mom has almost no confidence whatsoever, and that poisonous teaching is kind of going on to their kids. I don't know how them little two girls go end up with that kind of luck.
No, life, them little two girls, they're a piece of shit. Like, no offense to them, but they're trash.
They're gonna be like the worst case scenario for as Veronica when they grow up into high school.
They look like has anyone ever watched what is it, Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah.
They look like her. Just two of them running around.
Loud.
Veronica. I would hands on sight.
Yeah.
Hands on sight. I'm older than you. I'm whooping both your asses.
Yeah, it's gonna be drop kicks. Hell yeah.
Drop kicks left and right. Like, if your little sister just kept bothering you the way they were, he's hitting them. He's hitting her. You're gonna repeat later, but he's hitting you.
Like, I gotta get mine in first at least for my parents.
And then one of the biggest themes was, we're gonna get to the whole love triangle, and I put quotes because it wasn't really a love triangle, but Sierra and Veronica, they oddly make the right type of friends.
Yeah.
They have a really good chemistry. The casting was really good. And I was just like, oh, okay. I can see you guys actually working. Cringiest scene, though. I got to talk about it. The car scene.
Oh, yeah.
So, basically, Jamie got tired of texting and all this shit. So, he asked her out on a date. At that date, Sierra was supposed to admit that it was her. But she chickens out. And so Veronica ends up going on the date. And Sierra's following them and stuff. And she tells Veronica, obviously, not to kiss him, yada, yada. And there's a scene where he wants a kiss. He's tired of waiting for a kiss. So Veronica makes him close her eyes. And then Sierra, like, in the car, from under the car, goes up and kisses him. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. What do you think of that scene?
His spidey senses were kicking in, though. Because he was like, I could have swore somebody else was here. Like, I don't know. I feel like looking at someone, I would know what their lips feel like on me. Like, I don't know.
You never know. Some people kiss different.
Listen, they're two different size females. You can tell. You know what? Whatever.
Not lips-wise. They have the same size lips.
I don't know, man. It just feels a different kind of way to me.
See, what would made it unrealistic if he put his hands on the hips.
Yeah.
And then couldn't tell that it was not Veronica. Then it'd be weird, because, like, you could tell, like, no offense, they have every different hip sizes.
This scene just angered me, because I was like, why are you being so fucking weird? Like, you had the logical option in your mind earlier, and then you just, like, backflipped on everything. And to be honest, and Veronica was also enabling this, too, because, like, we all know how healthy this weird catfish relationship is, and we just gonna keep enabling it.
Yeah.
It even got worse, too. Another one of my favorite dance scenes, when they're playing football. They're playing catch his little brother in the field.
Yeah.
Because, like, she could have said something right there, too. Dan even, like, realized who the guy was. After we're like, oh, that's him right there, Mr. Pretty Boy. How about we go say something to him? Drag Sierra all the way over there. And then Sierra, like, shuts down. Like, she didn't say a word. And
no, she says why she didn't say a word. Because he said, I could pick your voice out of a lineup. Mm-hmm. So she pretended to be mute. Because she didn't want him.
That's still unhealthy.
No, it's still stupid and wrong. God. But that's why she didn't talk. She had a reason.
But the look on her face was also so dumb. It's like she had the dare in the headlight kind of look on her face. Like, I'm about to get hit by a car and I can't move. And she couldn't even sell the sign language thing because the little brother was like, he's actually mute. Deaf. And he knew how to talk sign language. So that he figured, Sarah know how to do it. So now, like, you just lied to him about who you are and the fact that you're deaf. So there's also that.
She said she was mute, not deaf.
Mute, which, hey, listen, yeah, you're right, but still. It don't help her case none.
No, it really don't. And also, I blame Dan for that whole scene. Because he shouldn't have walked his ass over there. They literally didn't even have to have that whole scene. But Dan was being a shit starter. He was being a fucking instigator.
He had the right...
No, he didn't. He did it because it made him laugh. He had the right
thought in mind. No, I mean, yeah, he ended up making him laugh because, like, I can't, like, he realized, all right, Sierra is literally not pulling her own weight here. And he was like, I'm going to try to bring you over here to,
But she said no. He should have respected that.
You should have hurried the fuck up and not let, like, that little fake kiss scene happen by the car. But...
It already happened.
Yeah. She should, and she also should have had the opportunity right there to say who she really was.
Yeah, but we're talking about Dan. Don't deflect.
Froze up twice.
Don't deflect.
Froze up twice.
Okay,
froze up twice.
Deflect.
2 times.
Dan shouldn't have walked over there. If I was Sierra, I would have turned around and act like that nigga wasn't there. I wouldn't have walked over there.
Hey, you want to meet my friend Fake Veronica, her real name is Sierra?
No, if he did that, hands on sight. If he did that, hands on sight.
It'd have been to all the boys I loved all over again. The little sister just like.
Spoiler alert: the little sister deserved hands on sight too. Okay, Dan was bugging, little sister was bugging. And
that movie only happened because of the little sister. That's the fucked up part.
And the best thing about that is you knew the little sister did it.
Yeah.
Fucking knew, but. They didn't try to hide it either.
She should have protected those letters a little. This is not that podcast, but she should have definitely protected those letters a lot better.
Well, you would think because her little sister was very mature and never shown like ideas that I'm gonna dig through your shit. And she had an older sister, so I don't think her older sister would have did it because her older sister went away. So she trusted her family, and apparently she shouldn't have.
Yep.
But. She trusted her family. But moving back to another Netflix thing. And I also watched a list where this movie was like one of the best movies of this genre on Netflix. So I definitely agree on that. But that whole scene, Dan was trifling. Dan was trying shit the whole movie. But I got his intention. I know his intention was to get Sierra out of her shell and try to help her out. But, So let's talk about the climax. When Veronica stupidly lets Jamie kiss her. But I think she did it thinking Sierra would never know. But I'm like, And Sierra sees this and gets revenge on her. But here's the thing. I blame her for sending the mass text. Because she did. And also Veronica, like, why do you have a guy who you just started dating or only dated for like a year as your password? Just saying.
Yeah.
That was stupid on her part. But Sierra was wrong for even like breaking into her Instagram or whatever. Pulling up her DMs and then screenshotting and sending it to everyone. Like, who the fuck does that? And then, let's talk about the little asshole who was like, oh, maybe if I lower her self-esteem and it's posted everywhere, then I can ask her out. He literally did that. Hands on sight for you too.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't even get the date.
That guy had no screen time, and his plan was flawed anyway, because she was like, get the fuck out of my face, please. It's crazy because she never really found out that, he did it because of that, or even that he's the one who, at the football game, put it on the Megatron.
Yeah.
But
he literally told her, oh, now that you have a low self-esteem and you're not as popular, do you want to go out with me?
Right.
That's not how you ask out anyone. I don't care who
No game.
He thought she was so desperate that she would go out with him. And the thing is, he's not even a bad-looking guy, but he's a douchebag. But what do you think of that whole football scene?
I mean, let's rewind the clock a little bit to this whole college guy thing.
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about Spence.
He broke up with her, which I believe was because she didn't put out. Like, she kissed him, but didn't put out. No. That's not why. Veronica said he broke up with her because she's not mature or smart enough. So that's why Sierra was tutoring her in college things so she would appear smart. No, remember the car scene, though. They remember when they kissed.
Yeah, but the original reason Sierra was tutoring, that's why.
I'm not going that far back. I'm going far back. It's just to the car scene where they kissed.
Okay, because that was the original reason.
Yeah, okay, fine. The original reason, right, because she's immature, he's in college, yada, yada, yada. You're right.
And then they broke up again because he was like, no.
Yeah, because first of all, red flag if anybody try to kiss you for the first time and try to take a picture of it and looks at the camera, like, that's a setup waiting to happen.
That's not the first time.
I mean, probably not the first time, but I'm assuming it's still kind of weird that he took the camera out anyways.
Yeah, because she was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So there's that thing going on. He took that picture, and then, after they broke up over DM, which is like the biggest thing in high school, apparently. I completely underestimated how big of a deal this was in high school. It's like, you broke up with me over DM, and she starts bawling her eyes out. But then after the whole thing where Sierra sees Jamie kissing Veronica, thinking that, he still thinks that that's the real person he's talking to.
Right, Jamie's just a victim in all this.
This is where Sierra, like, loses her shit and does some really irresponsible shit. But it's a high school rom-com. You kind of figured at some point, because I think there's a point, too, where Shanique looked at the time of how much time they have left in the movie, like, uh-oh, we got enough time for a climax. Something about to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, we expect at least one more big like problem to hit, and obviously it's going to be some kind of like betrayal thing between Sierra and Veronica. I know which way it's going to go, but I know it's going to happen. So yeah, she pretty much like blasts out the fact that she got broken up with over DM. Which, oh my god.
It's not over the DM. It's like what he said in the
yeah.
That's what makes it embarrassing,
mm-hmm.
not the DM part.
What did he say again?
He said, "Oh, high school girls are fun, but I'm not about it," or something asshole.
Line, right.
Yeah. And then he like did this point and like, well, she probably did the dump me, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, yeah, that's where I'm like, she even went above and beyond by like drawing on the shit.
Now, if he sent that picture,
right, that's a different story.
And then drew it, then he's even more savage. That makes it look so much worse. And it was really bad because Veronica was probably telling everyone, I'm dating a college guy, yada yada, and he loves me, yada, all this shit. Because everyone knew about Spence that went to that school at least. Mm-hmm. Jamie didn't even go to the same school, so he didn't know.
Right, he just saw right here. He's definitely a victim here.
Yeah, Jamie was a victim basically throughout this whole entire
movie. Pretty much.
This boy's getting lied to left and right.
Bad day for Jamie in the movie.
Yeah, but that was kind of fucked up. But I think it wasn't as bad as it was portrayed to be. But it's also high school, and people overload things a lot.
Right. And, I mean, seeing that little transformation in Sierra, like, I feel like there's a point where she did regret it. Especially after it got blown up onto the screen at the football game, because she didn't count on that shit happening.
No.
And then, when Jamie found out and the whole revelation comes to a head, I was like, okay, here's the actual like climax of the movie where Jamie figures out he's being catfished.
He didn't figure it out.
Well, yeah, he didn't figure it out, but he was like, all right, some bullshit's happening because that girl ain't deaf. So
because they told her. Right. Veronica was about to snitch. She's like, oh, bitch, you want to do this?
Right.
So I'm going to snitch. And then Sierra's like, let me explain. And then...
You kissed him. Like, really?
And then that's when she came home crying.
Right. So that whole transformation scene right there was interesting. Even Dan was like, dog, what the fuck? I can't even recognize you right now, yo. Like, I already knew it was bad enough that you were catfishing. But now you out here, like, blowing up people's spots and shit, like, putting their privacy out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sorry, Veronica, but your password should not be Spence. What?
Hey!
Anyways.
I tried to defend that, couldn't. So, after that, basically, Sierra and Jamie eventually have the talk because Veronica... Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped. Sierra... throughout the entire movie, she had this assignment that she's supposed to do, and the day is due, she didn't do it, and eventually she does do it, but she writes a song called Sunflower, which I actually like. Something Sunflower, and I think if it is the actress, she has a really beautiful voice, and she talks about singing, and she tells her dad she wants to sing. They never show her making up with her mother.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, because she directed a lot of her anger towards her mom, but they don't show... but whatever. Hey, maybe you can't fit everything. So, this song, she sent it to Veronica, and Veronica's like, oh, this is beautiful, yada yada. Sends it, I think Jamie hears it too.
Yep.
And then Veronica basically convinces Jamie to give Sierra a chance.
At homecoming.
Yep. And, the typical romantic movie. There's a scene in the car, and he says, you are my type, you're beautiful, yada yada. And they finally kiss. And then he asks if they've done this before. I'm like, don't admit that one. Right. I ain't gonna lie. That was a little creepy. You in the car.
Spelling that whole lie out was just going to make things look so much worse. And you're already back in the clear. So just take the good times while they're going. So
right. Take your new mans to homecoming and enjoy that. And then eventually, Veronica and Sierra makes up. And then Dan is like, hey, me too.
Right.
And he was surprised.
He just jumps back in like, hey, he has his own date to like homecoming and everything. But he just trying to jump back in like, hey, back in the club. Everybody's all right now.
Yeah.
And somehow he becomes like, I don't know if he like becomes Veronica's friend as well. But I guess he's there.
He's saying, yo, we friends.
Right.
Like, there was no choice there.
If you're her friend, you're my friend now.
Yeah, basically.
You inherited me.
Basically. So... overall, I say it was a pretty good movie. I already list my favorite characters, but who's your number one? Is it Dan? Is it Jamie?
I'm gonna say Veronica because of her character transformation. She's probably the biggest asshole in the world. And there's a point where while she's getting taught, where she's actually learning something. Like she's actually trying to like show the guy that she was smart, and she realized, holy shit, she was actually like listening to the shit that she was being taught. So I'm gonna give her for her like her character development. I'll go ahead and say Veronica's my actual favorite, especially because I feel bad because like your mom is putting you through shit right now, son. So God.
Yeah. Before I forget, Veronica even tells her mother, "Yo, my dad's not dead."
Yeah.
And her mom's like, "Oh, but he should be."
Should be right.
Yeah.
She's still salty. Damn.
I mean, I get why though.
I mean, I get why, but don't be passing.
But don't kill him. Like,
passing on all that rage to your kids.
The twins are too far gone.
Oh, they might be too late for them. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe you gotta just switch it up a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, anything else? Did we forget anything?
No. We talked about all the major scenes that I really cared about. And, you know, Loretta Devine was also in the movie.
Yep, she was the English teacher, yeah.
I want to say, though, that the guidance counselor was a piece of shit.
Yo, the guidance counselor was like, you ain't shit, yada, yada.
Like, what makes you special to apply to Stanford and all this kind of shit? I'm like, how many languages do you speak? But do you speak Mandarin? She said, like, French, Spanish, English, American, like, something. And then, like, do you speak Mandarin? Like, what? I just give you, like, 4 different languages. If you don't speak Chinese, then it's not going to work. Like, what? You just asked me what languages do I speak?
Yeah, no, I thought it was, like, Sierra could speak a little Mandarin, but the guidance counselor was like, that's okay.
Right.
So, yeah, the guidance counselor was crap, like, telling her she ain't special. I mean, this is a guidance counselor you don't need on, like, 13 Reasons Why. You don't need her.
Heck yeah.
You don't need her, especially at that school. You don't need her. You need Mr. Porter, but like anger. What else? Oh, they basically they also did the thing where they tell you where they went to college at the end.
Oh yeah.
Sierra went to Stanford, and now she's doing long distance with Jamie. He's still practicing his selfie poses and dating her. Veronica wants to be a philosopher queen, which I think that just means a dope philosopher, but whatever. And then Dan,
remember he got into the all-girls school.
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Some bullshit. He fought to get into an all-girls school, and he actually got in.
There you go. I don't know how that works. I don't know how the fuck that works.
That's only college right now, but yeah, that was a little weird. And I think that's about it. Closing remarks, worth seeing. Check out Netflix. It was a really good movie. I would watch it again. I thought Netflix is getting a little better with their rom-coms. Anything else?
Their high school rom-com game has been up pretty good too. Well, no, granted I've only seen 2, but it's pretty dope. It's worth a little watch if you have like company over, or you and your lady just chilling out or whatever. It's a good little Netflix movie to watch.
Definitely. All right, guys, hit it up on Twitter at Echo U Podcast, and you can find us on most social media sites and